Hi guys, we are live with Dan from the Immersys team. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Thanks so much for having me. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good.
We're good. So Daniel, I gotta come out of the gate and ask you. Obviously, metaverse is like the big buzzword right now. How does it feel to have such a cool metaverse project?
It's kind of funny how it all kind of came about, right? So we started making NFTs. We were just honestly just making like pixelated like monsters on the blockchain. I kind of stumbled upon Wax one day, listed them like probably back in like September of last year. They kind of sold, and I was just like, "What is going on? I don't know what I'm doing. I've never really touched blockchain anything, right? Like I maybe had some Bitcoin on like maybe Robinhood or something like that prior to this. But I was already I already had heard the term metaverse, right? Because metaverse isn't just like decentralized, like gamification of things and like all these stories and worlds combined. It's like, future technology, as a whole, right? So we were already in the AR, VR space selling like remote offices and then AR experiences for remote workers. And we kind of took this like pixel monster thing and we saw like how smart contracts work and how there's like this additional utility to NFTs and kind of combine the stuff that we were already doing. And now we kind of had like two pieces of the metaverse and then like two layers of the metaverse. And now we kind of just been expanding it since then. Like now we've been kind of going into more of like entertainment in the form of like play to earn and those types of things at this point. So and now it's just kind of just continuing to expand on all layers of the metaverse, it's kind of crazy because like to think of like what we were doing like less than a year ago to now, it's like super cool. Like it's much more fun, right? Like it was so like technical and like professional, and you had to like talk to all these like professional people, but not I mean not that the professionalism went away, but like it's just more fun. I don't know how to explain it. It just feels more natural. It's more enjoyable.
Yeah, for sure. It seems like all the NFTs and all that stuff are just getting more utility, which makes it a lot more exciting in my opinion, versus like just collectibles like a couple years ago.
Yes. Yeah. I think the collectible stuff is cool to get started. I think the early people got it was way looser with the collectibles. Like pretty much anything that got listed, would get bought up. Like now there's a much more focus on what's the utility of what I'm buying, and I think that's going to kind of get adopted by the masses pretty quickly. I think once they see like, hey, the digital art part of it isn't the best part. The best part of it's like, what we can continue to add to it. That's when everybody kind of gets in on it. That's how I can convince people to get in on it, right? Like I went from not being able to convince anybody to buy my pixelated monster, but everybody wants to go play a game, right? I can get my brothers in there, I can get my friends in there, and at least give it a try. So it's easily adoptable in that way.
Yeah, I love it. Honestly, the Wax community is so much fun, and it's one of those communities where Wax as a tool really just allows you to build anything. Anybody who wants to try something, it kind of lowers that barrier to entry all the way down. So I
Yes.
feel like they've already succeeded. At this
Yes.
point, every new person who comes in is just like, okay, here it is, and you're
Yep.
gonna fall in love with it because it's just that great.
I'd love to hear a story of somebody that came in and didn't enjoy it, to be honest. Like, I would love to hear what the experience was that you came in and you're just like, I didn't really like it. Like, the only case that I had is like my brother saying, like, maybe Atomic Hub, like, he doesn't really like how, like, dark it is. He's just like, I like how OpenSea's so, like, light and, like, colorful. And, like, because the marketplace tends to be, like, maybe, like, the first place you kind of experience it, unless you just find the token on, like, CoinMac Market Cap or somewhere like that, or CoinGecko or whatever. But outside of that, you're probably finding it through NFTs, right? And then you're probably finding it on a marketplace. So it's funny how like something so like you wouldn't think people would care about it, but just the color of the website like might affect whether somebody likes it or not. But yeah, it is funny because I don't see how you can come in and not feel like, hey, this doesn't feel as scary and as anonymous as everybody else. Like there's a community around there. Everybody's kind of working towards a goal. Everybody's so friendly, willing to help out. So yeah, I mean that's my experience. So it's funny to hear other people's experience coming in.
I will say
So
the one thing I have
I
noticed.
wanted to
Sorry, go
go ahead.
ahead. The one thing I have noticed, the only thing that most people complain about, I'm a moderator in the Wax Discord, and I feel bad for these people, but the Wax P token used to be ERC, so it was on Ethereum, and they migrated over to EOSIO, so a lot of people lost money on that, and they blame the Wax team,
Yeah,
but I don't know, that's a whole other story. We won't get into that, but
I could see why, but yeah, that makes sense too.
So, for people that haven't heard of Immersys ever before, can you just kind of give a quick background of what the whole project is?
Yeah, so Immersys is, like I said, this all encompassing like metaverse ecosystem. So we want to kind of encompass a bunch of technology from entertainment to just VR headsets to AR to like being able to go into an area, experience like an event, all decentralized in the fact that it's a virtual world where you actually own every single item that's in the world. It's got play to earn aspects and the fact that you can go in there, chop down a tree and get a log NFT minted to your wallet like directly from inside the game. You're not having to sign to every single transaction. There's like the important actions are on the chain, and then the like the immersion part of it also exists, right? We want to kind of cater to people that want to have fun rather than like click a button and everything be on the blockchain. I see the value and stuff like that, but I think for people to kind of adopt it, you do have to kind of ease them into it. Like we take care of all the RAM, all the CPU costs, everything like that. So you go in there and you just play the game. You'll earn rewards. Everything that you earn, every single item gets minted to your Wax Cloud wallet, and you're good to go. Every craft, every item that comes into the game is made through the players. So we're creating this player economy where really like there could just be one person in the entire metaverse that owns an item, and they're the ones that kind of get to sell anything and everything. So we're just creating this world where creators can come in, import their own NFTs into the world, sell their own NFTs as wearables, cosmetics, whatever they want. They can own their own shop inside of Immersive. So we have like this player-owned marketplace, player-owned housing that we're going to be introducing here in this next month, along with a token mechanic to earn as well. Right now, it's pretty much all NFTs. We want to incorporate the fungible token aspect into it. Obviously, creating the fungible tokens is a little bit foreign to somebody that may be only was introduced to NFTs. NFTs kind of make sense, but the whole tokenomics stuff gets a little bit more intense. But yeah, so we'll be incorporating that portion of it in, fully as well. So it's a really cool world. To be honest, like there's equivalents, but there's nothing like this. To be honest, it's pretty unique, and you kind of have to go in there to kind of be like, wow, this is cool.
Is that the in-game currency is going to be called the Fate token, right?
It is, yeah, yep. So the Fate token is the currency.
And that's going to be at some point available on Elcor, you think?
So it is on Elcor as of right now.
It
we
is
did
already.
an initial airdrop out to some of our guys holding the Ellie blobs, which are those pixel monsters. But yeah, so we'll do a more formal release of that token when we're ready.
Yeah, that's super cool how you were talking about. I think you were referring to the proof of ownership crafting. Can you talk a little bit more about that and what makes your metaverse have all these unique NFTs?
Yeah, so the nice thing about it is like I said, so everything is made by the player. So they will go into the world, they'll participate in multiple activities. Obviously, the first kind of like generic MMORPG, Dungeons and Dragon type thing is just going out grinding and chopping trees, mining rocks, and getting like some of your basic resources, right? So that's an example of like a mini game inside the metaverse. And from doing that, you'll earn a blueprint. So, which are these proof of ownership NFTs? So they're non-transferable tokens that get minted and basically account bound to your crypto wallet. And what they do is they function as this proof of ownership, item that allows you or grants you access or ownership to craft something inside of the world. So as long as you obtain all the other items inside the world, you can craft this item as much as you want, sell it as much as you want. You have basically a complete monopoly on it until other people find it. And then these items are used to craft other things, and it kind of like it just allows items to have multiple utility. And then because of how rare they are, there's this demand factor too, where not everybody can own every single item, right? Like it would take hours, and eventually once we have more and more blueprints in there, it'll take years probably to collect all these blueprints. So there's always going to be this desire or need to like work with other people or purchase off other people. And we're really just kind of putting all the power in the players' hands, right? As long as they play the game, they're going to earn the ownership to mint every single NFT that ever comes into the game, basically, is how it works. It's really cool. It's not us selling something ahead of time, right? It's truly play to earn. It's not invest to earn, is what we're trying to do here.
I've noticed a lot of like keys or like beta entry like NFTs to get inside the metaverses and all that. You have one as well, right?
Yep. Yeah, but we did something unique with this one. So this is actually only airdropped to people that own the beta key. So every single time that we want to expand our player base, we airdrop all, like the next one's going to be like almost 6,000 people are going to get a airdrop of the next pass is how it works. And then they could give that to their friend, give it away, use it for giveaways, or even just list it on the market to sell and make some money back if they bought in, just to support the project. So we get this awesome word of mouth. We get all this really good feedback from people that want to and have kind of bought into the idea. But the nice part is like it was all given out for free. Like it was just given to the players to sell the access to the game in the same way. It's cool because then we get to see the floor price too, right? We can see if we're providing value because every time we airdrop them to it, like we just kind of see, okay, we update the game. Does our price of our beta cards go up? Like is the floor price going up? And then like once it reaches like another like $15 or $20, that's when we do another whole wave out because the demand's there again. It's kind of cool.
That's so cool. Honestly, it just makes me think like these big brand box office companies like are starting to get into NFTs now. And like just people in the wax community like yourself have all these advanced strategies for marketing, and I just think it's so cool. And it's just a matter of time before companies start adopting them.
I agree. I think they'll see it as advantageous because, right, like in a way, an NFT is sort of like almost like email marketing again, right? Like if I receive an airdrop or if I receive a free drop in a way, right? Like I'm going to look into that project and kind of get a little bit interested. And if you're giving me free stuff to give away and it has value, like that's even more of a reason for me to go and promote something. And you'll all these like different and unique like marketing strategies will definitely kind of come out of this as well, right? Like right now it's just kind of paid advertisement from a banner ad somewhere on somebody's website or like a write up on what the project is and what's coming. But I think they'll get more and more creative as it goes on. It doesn't even have to be the big brands. I think the small brands, some of them, haven't even taken it to the full advantage yet, and I think they will.
One of the
I
nice
know
things.
a bunch of people that kind of are using our method already, right? They're just like, we loved how you did it, and I think that's the proper way to do it, right? Like, we're not going to charge people. We're just going to allow, the people that support us to kind of give out or basically spread the word, right? Like, that's how it works.
And it's so easy to airdrop now, right? Because I know before it used to cost a good bit of money to do airdrops, and on Wax you can do it cheap.
Yep, you can do it very cheaply.
All right, so could you take us through the roadmap of Immerse? Where are you guys now? Where do you guys plan to be in 6 months? And how do you plan to sustain yourself over the next, couple of years?
Yeah, so obviously we've kind of gone through a couple phases. We most recently, September 25th, I think we pretty much reached our MVP, I would say. So this is, our token got airdropped to people. It really didn't have a ton of use cases yet, but just to get it out there, show them that we have a token coming. We had our player-owned marketplaces that these are people that basically own an NFT that will represent a virtual location where they can sell their own NFTs. It doesn't have to be just NFTs. It could be physical products, digital pop products, NFTs, whatever they want. And it's kind of essentially like these 3D websites. We also kind of set up this dynamic ad system where you can kind of pay for ads that will just spawn inside of the world. You can inspect them. They're basically like link trees in a way. So it's so much more interactive than maybe like a typical banner ad on a website. So players can go in and interact with the ad themselves. We also have our play earn aspect that we put in, and then just our tablet. So we have this really cool tablet that functions like pretty much like a virtual smartphone in a way, right? So it's got its own app store. It's got all these, we call them V apps, so virtual apps that you can install to the tablet and provide utility inside of the virtual world. So that's kind of where we reached just like pretty recently. So now we're in our settlement phase, and this is kind of where we're going over probably the next maybe 2 months, 3 months, where we're going to develop out the player ownership, the player-owned world, essentially. So these are the stores, making them much more, because right now we had to make them, right? So this was a lot of work on us. So now we want them to be able to be made by our players. So they would basically own the real estate. They can rent that real estate out to somebody else who wants to host something inside of their store. Then they can customize they make all the furniture, they list all their products, they do everything that they want to design their store. We're setting up that system, and then that same exact system transitions into the player-owned housing, where they will own a piece of digital real estate, and then be able to decorate it with their own furniture, their own NFTs, whatever they want. They can list it in this house of theirs, essentially, or this apartment, or wherever they decide to get their house in here. So that's kind of the immediate thing that we're working on is player ownership in the form of digital, commercial property and residential property in a way. Yeah. And then, down the line, then we want to introduce the token. So the play to earn fungible token portion would be basically you burning the NFTs that you're earning inside the game to earn the fungible token instead. Reason being is we need to get NFTs out of the game because that costs us RAM and all that stuff. So it's incentivizing, earning of the token. Then the token can be used for, to purchase, different crafts and different things that you need to purchase inside of the game, basically. So setting up the house, you need purchasing to unlock, different analytics that we can provide about your shop and all the different immersive services we like to call them. So immersive services are things that we can provide as like premium services to maybe some of the stuff that we allow already.
That's awesome. One of the things we always like to ask we always like to ask teams building on Wax, have you run into any problems developing on Wax, and would you change anything if you could start from scratch all over again?
So not that I've really ran into problems. I would say like the Wax Cloud Wallet kind of sort of sucks a little bit to work with, especially for how we're developing a game. Since we're not a web-based application, we're a desktop application. Having a pop-up window being the required method of signing a transaction it doesn't like it. So the nice thing is if you have an Anchor wallet, I forget what it's called, but you're able to kind of scan a QR code, or you have other additional methods of signing transactions, like on a mobile phone or what have you. So being able to incorporate that, so you can just log into the browser inside the game or inside the world, would be nice, so that you can sign your transactions and things a little bit easier with Wax Cloud Wallet. But Anchor works seamless. Like you can sign your transactions without doing anything. But as far as problems, no, everything's been perfect. It's easy to get people in. People are like, if I tell somebody how to download the game, they just download the game, click sign in, get a wallet, and then they're in. Like it's very easy to onboard people, which that's what we like the most. Just the ease of use and ease of setup. But yeah, nothing's really stood out that I don't like, to be honest.
It's good to hear. I just got a PC like a couple days ago. I'm getting that set up. I'm definitely gonna try it out. Yeah. While we're on that topic, I saw on your website, are there some VR integrations in the works?
Yes. So it actually started off as a VR compatible game. We actually just removed the features just so we can develop faster. To be honest, we have the fundamentals we've been developing in VR, so we know how it works. It's just faster if we just kind of push it to the side, develop hard, and then when we're ready, just bring it back, essentially, and we're keeping it in mind. But yeah, so it'll be VR compatible, so you'll be able to go in there, and it's actually a really cool experience when you do go in there in VR, because I don't know how to explain it, but like the game feels small on a desktop. So like when you're playing it, feels like a small video game, but then when you're actually in the world and you're looking around and the buildings are like actual legit skyscrapers, and you're like holding your smartphone and going through your apps and stuff like that, it's a ridiculous experience, and I love to get it back in there as soon as possible. We'll probably focus on that probably after we get combat and our fighting mechanics in there, because we want to update our avatar system. Right now we're kind of like headless bodies, because like I said, we kind of started in AR VR anyway, so like it's just common to not have any legs on those types of avatars. So now that we're supporting desktop, we want to bring legs back into the picture here. So that's kind of the next thing in line as well.
Speaking of the combat thing, is there a PvP mode and any other types of modes?
So PvP was in there. We took it out because it just got super toxic. Everybody's trying to gather these resources, and everybody's getting PJ'd and PK'd, and it got a little out of hand. People were raging, and it just wasn't a great combat system. Just because it was kind of put in there just to kind of prove the concept in a way. But
right.
It will be coming back once we have a much more fleshed out combat system. Just because we want it to be like kind of run through dungeons and get loot and craft your items and all that kind of stuff at some point. we also just kind of want like a first person shooter game. We want like a racing game. We want all of these different types of mini games that you can earn different blueprints. Like we want you to be able to earn like a cool set of tires when you're racing, or get a new skin on a gun while you're playing the first person shooter game. Like all these can be blueprints, and that's kind of why we really enjoy the blueprint system. Is it just unlocks, or it's something to play for, and that once you unlock it, you can kind of financially benefit from it.
That's so interesting. Honestly, I think about this metaverse concept all the time, and I'm trying, like, I try very hard to define it to people who aren't super into it. Like, can you put in simple words, like, what exactly is a metaverse? And because I think people understand, like, oh, okay, a game is a game, so
Yeah.
I get that. But like when we talk metaverse, like it almost seems at this point like it's getting indistinguishable from reality. Like, what is the metaverse?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think the metaverse will always be changing, right? Like, I think new technology will always be coming out. So anything that's kind of like, I think the perfect example is the fact that our web browser is inside of the game, right? Like, this is like a really weird concept in the fact that like you can play your games inside of a game on so all your dApps are already inside of our metaverse, right? So like it's almost like this like additional layer, and then I think there'll be additional layers outside of just the entertainment. Like I almost feel like a true metaverse ecosystem is like the outest layer of a metaverse. Like you have all this beautiful, brand new, state of the art, next generation technology that's kind of it's built on top of. But a metaverse is whatever, like a true metaverse ecosystem or thing is whatever the outer layer. Think of it as like the ozone layer of the metaverse, right? Like it's just whatever encompasses the most of the newest technology. In my mind, is the metaverse.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I think that works, honestly. I didn't say the new frontier, but I'm gonna start using that ozone.
Yeah, it's like I call it the ecosystem, right? Like I just I don't even call us a metaverse anymore. I say metaverse ecosystem whenever I say it, because you're right. Like everybody can use it, but it's not just a metaverse. It's like it's a whole bunch of things that go into it.
Do you think metaverses are gonna like collaborate with each other since it's open source, like metaverse?
I do think, yeah. I mean, we already have these conversations with each other, like so, Uplift and Gnome City and some of the other bigger, metaverse projects that I think are like closer to the scale of what we're going for, right? Already collaborate and already talk and I definitely do see that being the case. Like I can see, I can see concerts being like almost this like hop around and go to different metaverse type events. Like you'll kind of bar hop around the metaverses. Like I don't know, yeah. I definitely think that interconnectivity between them will exist for sure. I think it has to. It's like everybody says like there's only gonna be one blockchain, and then that one blockchain has multiple tokens, and then everybody has an NFT collection, then everybody else has an NFT collection. So like I think just collaboration, I think is just a natural progression for almost anything and everything in a decentralized space.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's why it grows so fast, because everyone's pretty much working together. Like,
yeah, it benefits you if you're not by yourself.
It's like
power
just
numbers,
the network effect.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
So going back to Wax, was there any other reason that you chose Wax specifically? Like no gas fees? Did you use other blockchains before this?
So, in all honesty, I didn't even know what a gas fee was when I first showed up. But hey, I'm gonna preach no gas fees, carbon neutral, 2-click wallet all day long. I'm gonna preach it because I just so happen to stumble upon probably the best option out there. Let's be honest. So, yeah, I mean, they're not the reason I came. I came by fluke, but they're definitely the reason why I stayed.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So how long have you guys been a guild? I mean, this is something that or a producer that this is the first time I've ever even talked to you guys other than the spaces I listened to you.
So I think we both started around like 2 years ago now or so. But the guild existed before us.
Okay.
We just kind of got hired on the content and community side.
Awesome.
And
is there particular like things that I would be familiar with that I may use, like that the guild's created, or
we actually have something we can't talk about it. It's coming.
Okay.
relatively soon, but we're definitely going to market it when it comes out, and I think it's going to be something anybody can use. It's
Cool.
It's not a new concept in crypto, but it is bringing the same concept to NFTs.
Awesome.
And NFTs, there's so many of them right now. It's getting hard to organize them.
Yeah.
So we're trying to build something that's going to help that.
Awesome. Cool. I'm excited to see.
Honestly, we're because we're going to start doing the Twitter Spaces every Sunday.
Yeah.
And we were thinking maybe doing one of our own custom NFTs if the community would like it, and then just kind of giving them to people who show up to the Twitter Spaces, hooking up with a couple projects and seeing if we can do something like that, because I think that'd be a good way to just engage the community, just try it out. We're just kind of trying things out.
I mean, that's it's funny. You guys are like the OGs of this thing, and like you guys are like hesitant. Should we do it? Should we not do it? Absolutely. I mean, that's what you should absolutely be doing. But no, that's a cool idea.
It's funny how we actually met. Well, we've never met in real life actually, but we both started making like wax videos and EOS.io videos on YouTube just for fun because we were like passionate about crypto. And then I would get on Twitter when I was working at my old job at a grocery store, and I'd be like, "Somebody in crypto, please hire me." And that's how my boss found me. And then I knew Cody from YouTube, so we just kind of all started collaborating. And there's like videos of us a couple years ago.
My partner on Twitch, I was just watching his stream asking how to code. And that's how so it's crazy, I mean, that's the power of the internet. So, can't even imagine there's a little like structure and, a common goal behind it. It's, right. It'll blow up quick.
I always tell people too, if they're going to hold a crypto token, you should try to provide any value possible to get the price to go up. That's kind of the whole point of it, in my opinion. Like, you know what I mean?
Yep. Absolutely.
So, where's a good place to find you, Daniel? Where can people go?
Yeah, so you can find us on Twitter at Immersys. You can go to our website, Immersys.io. You will need a beta pass to kind of get in, but we are thinking about opening it up to the public just for like we normally do open it up like 2 days a week or what have you, but we might do a full week at the end of December this month. We do have a Christmas event going on, so if you do grab a beta pass, you will be able to. Actually, the update's probably about to go out here any minute now. But you can go in there, grab a limited edition Christmas hat. So it's like a blue Christmas hat that'll just get, like I said, minted directly to your wallet. You'll be able to wear it around on your avatar, and actually every single day, so 24 days, we've actually collaborated with 24 creators on the Wax blockchain. They've all provided an NFT. You can go, and as long as you own the hat, you'll have to find this elf. We called her BB. So BB on the blockchain is the quest, and you have to go and find BB out in the metaverse, and she'll give you an NFT as a reward for finding her for that day. So every single day for 24 days, you can get a free NFT, and then at the end of it on Christmas Day, if you have 8 NFTs from that were given away, then you get 1 prize. If you had 16, you get 2 prizes, and if you had 24, if you collected all 24, you get the big bonanza prize or present at the end. So we're excited about that. That's like one of our first quests inside the metaverse. So it'll be cool to see how many people complete the entire thing. Who shows up all 24 days and gets the reward.
The Wax community is pretty strong, so I won't be surprised.
Yeah. No, people like collecting them, and hey, it's free. So right. I wouldn't be surprised if a bunch of people go in there.
We have some YouTube comments. I can shout out some people real quick. Morgoth just said hello. Mox or Moxie said some news for T3 and T4 fish spots.
Yeah, so we're probably going to remove that Mox just for this update, just because we had to push it and we didn't have time to fix it. So expect them back on next Saturday.
Sweet Lou said, glad to have found you guys. The concept of play to earn is game changing. I think we all agree on that.
Absolutely.
Someone said, let's go, Team TNT, if you know who that is.
Yeah, actually streams Immersys on Twitch pretty frequently. That's another cool thing, is because I feel like we're one of like the more enjoyable blockchain games out there. Like it's funny to see how many people will go and actually stream it on Twitch, which I think is great exposure, because they'll stream under sometimes they stream on the Immersys category, but other times they stream under the cryptocurrency category. So like and they get decent amount of viewers. So like we have a huge French community. We have like one streamer that's pretty much averaging like 60 to 70 viewers over there playing Immersys every single day.
Yep.
So huge shout out to Dargo. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely a community forming on Twitch too, playing the game, which I think is amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome. We're just getting started too.
Wait, honestly, I'm going straight to get a beta pass.
We can hook you up.
Appreciate it. I mean, first quest. I mean, that's like
I would say do it. This is a good time to start, especially you're going to get 27, 28 free NFTs over the next month, and our limited edition ones, like our holiday event ones. I think those NFTs are going for like $60 for the two main ones that you got. So it's worth your time. It doesn't take too long to kind of log in there and grab it, and then you get a bunch of other ones and support the creators that kind of created the whole event for us, or you joined in with it.
Sounds good. We are running out of time, so I guess we can wrap things up. But thanks for coming on. Always feel free to reach out.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a pleasure talking to you guys, meeting you, and thanks so much for having me on.
Have a good one. See you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.